Hello everyone, do you want to spice up your gameplay with visual changes, better mechanics and simple functional additions? Well, today I'm going to show you 20 of the best Minecraft client-side mods that can do just that. Without further ado, let's get started. Starting off our list, the first mod is called Shulkerbox Tooltips. As you might have guessed, it shows you a preview of your Shulkerbox while it's in your inventory without having to place it down. This is very useful and handy for when you want to check out your shulker box without having it be stolen by other players or your friends, assuming you have some of course. The next one is called Notebook. Notebook allows you to have a small text UI similar to the Minecraft book GUI. It's convenient and you can bring it on screen with a singular button. Inside it you can store all of your info, coordinates, or even a small Minecraft diary if you're that bored. Personally, this one is incredibly useful for me because I always write down coordinates in Notepad for stuff because of course I have a fish's memory. Ever find the normal TNT explosion boring and bland? Well, unlike your personality, explosive enhancement makes explosions look very interesting. You can finally have something better to look at while exploding the poor villager's house for not giving you the correct trade. Or when a creeper explodes your house. Not that you'd want that, of course. Visuality is a mod that adds a bunch of new particle effects such as crystal particles, particles on mob hitting, and custom blob particles and much more. It's a very slight change, but it makes for much more lively visuals. Speaking of lively visuals, cave dust and falling leaves both add beautiful new atmospheric particles to both your caving adventure or if you're wandering through the plains. The cave dust should honestly be added into the game along with the falling leaves. They both make the game feel a little more immersive and look very nice. Now, what would be more immersive than to see your own character model while in person? This mod, first person model, allows you to see your own character model if you look down. It might look a bit odd at first, but it makes sense and adds to the overall immersiveness. Do you think some Minecraft animations are a bit lacking or simply don't exist in Minecraft, like climbing a ladder? Well, the fix to that is not enough animations. This mod adds a horse riding animation, making you actually hold the horse, a ladder climbing animation, a boat throwing animation, proper eating animations, and much more. Combining this one with the first person model mod will work together very nicely because they are built for each other. Toggle item frames is a really nice way of putting invisible item frames into normal survival. By shift right clicking on an item frame, you immediately turn off the ugly frame around the item you want to display. Similarly to the previous one, this is a much needed addition to the main game because it would make the life of builders much easier and will allow them to be very creative with item frames. While flying your elytra or simply first joining a world, chunks usually look a bit choppy and unnatural while first loading in, especially if you're running the game on a toaster. But with chunks fade in, you can have very smooth chunk generation, making your world look almost like a simulation. I really like this one because it looks much more aesthetic pleasing and less choppy. Flying on an elytra has never been more fun with our next mod, Do a Barrel Roll. You can do cool movements and maneuvers through the air. This may induce motion sickness for some people, but regardless, it is absolutely sick. Although this is a fully client-sided mod, having it installed on the server allows other players to see your model soaring the skies in style. If you find yourself having to download many of the previous mod or the following ones, what better way to check them out than with Mod Menu? Mod Menu adds a simple GUI that you can open up while in-game and when you first load up the game. It shows a list of all mods currently working and small descriptions for each of them, and also you can configure them by pressing their icon. It makes the whole mod downloading process much more easier. Another GUI mod, or rather GUI enhancing mod, would be Better F3. This mod makes it easier to navigate to the jumble of mess that looks like your room that is the F3 screen, by color coding certain things and adding a smooth slide animation instead of it just popping out in your face. The next mod is a bit more on the performance side and it's called Enhanced Block Entities. Minecraft normally loads in some interactable blocks as entities, which causes lag when done in huge quantities. This mod fixes the issue by turning the blocks into normal block models. It's also completely client-sided and doesn't need to be installed on the server. Very useful for when you have a huge storage system. You know how Bedrock has a much easier bridging method by just placing in front of the block? Well, it might be a bit unfair, but the bridging mod adds the same Bedrock bridging mechanic to Java Edition as a new feature. Now all those days of terrible speed bridging then falling to your death are over. Well, hopefully at least. Next mod on the list is the famously loved one, Appleskin. It adds a bunch of hunger-based features. The first notable one is it shows you how much saturation you have. Knowing how much saturation you have can help you manage your hunger level better and stay full. It also shows you how much saturation a certain food item gives you on their tooltip. While holding any food, it also shows you approximately how much health and saturation you'd regain upon eating it. While knowing all these food stats might be useful, the process itself looks, well, underwhelming. Eating animation does exactly what it implies. It revamps the Minecraft eating animation for all the different food items, making it look a bit more natural rather than the food just suddenly disappearing like you're a black hole. It also works in multiplayer and you can see other players eating animation. Now our next mod is for all viewers with an Nvidia graphics card. If you don't have one, then you can skip to the next. It is called Nvidium, but what it does is that it enables very fast geometry culling of terrain, meaning your GPU can work much more efficiently and produce a lot more frames. It only works with sodium and sadly doesn't support shaders yet. The change in FPS is insane, and I recommend you use this if you have an Nvidia GPU and don't care about shaders. Legendary Tooltips is a cosmetic GUI mod that just makes the tooltips look a little better. It makes it so that different types of item have different looking tooltips, and some are color coded based on rarity. Pickup Notifier shows you exactly what items you picked up, similarly to the same way Terraria handles picking up items. With this, you will not miss a singular item you pick up. It also shows you colored items based on rarity, which can make it easier to identify them. The final mod we're showcasing is called Mob Plaques, which basically adds a small percentage-based health bar on all mobs, so you can finally understand why the golem you're fighting isn't dying already. It also shows you how much defense a mob has. And that is all for today, but before you leave there's one last thing I need to tell you. Subscribe.